What's up, everybody? How you doing? Welcome back to the Punk Rock Review, man. We're hanging out, talking about some records today. We've been trying to figure out, I don't know, more of a system of conversations that would be fun. And I think we got a little bit stale on the let's just review two albums, which is fun. We may go back to that. Who knows? Like that's still a tried and true method. But let's pick three albums instead of two. We're gonna pick a couple of piece this time instead of just two albums to review. We're gonna talk about. I was originally going to say like the worst and the best songs, but it's probably more or less like our favorite songs and our least favorite songs more so. Even though I all the time go, this song sucks, and that's an objective statement, but like it's still just my opinion. So if I bother you with my opinion, please let me know in the comments, and we can argue about it there. But yeah, dude, it's a funny thing. People in there, and what's funny too is like I was thinking like if Green Day's Dookie is your end-all be-all like punk rock record, dude, we're on different planets, man. So like these people in the comments were making me laugh, dude. I was like, this person is so angry about a song that I think sucks, but it's clearly like I think platinum selling song. Like, yeah, dude, I think Taylor Swift's music is by and large pretty bad, but like it's popular, so it must be reasonably good, right? Maybe.
I think anytime we talk about Green Day, though, it just gets a reaction. Yeah. I think they are such a big band. They have so many fans that'll find stuff. You know, it's just they're ones I would take those all with a little bit of grain of salt.
Right. I like to get under people's skin a little bit sometimes. I'm a genuine and kind and nice person, but there is a flip side to everybody. Everybody has their kind side and their little mischievous side. And my little mischievous side is that I like to like troll a little bit, talk a little shit, gaslight people. It's funny to me. Like, because it doesn't really make a lot of sense why anybody would be that mad about somebody's opinion on a song. So since they get that mad, especially the people in the UK, dude, I can't hardly handle the people over on that side of the world sometimes, man. Like I meet them in person and they're great, but in the comment sections, they say the most asinine shit sometimes. And it's like, bro, it's wild. But anyways, I strategically picked a couple of albums today that I think one of them is probably going to be a great conversation. One of them is probably going to be not much of a conversation. I'm talking about like in the comments, right? And then one of them, while I stand behind my picks, I know for a fact it's going to piss off some people. So this ought to be a good time, man. How's your week been going? We're talking on a Wednesday. Usually we talk on Tuesday. So you're like halfway through your week or more now.
Yeah, and we had off yesterday. So I can't tell you if today is Monday, Wednesday, or Thursday. It kind of has the feel of all three of them.
Right.
Yeah.
Dude, that's funny, man. What'd you have off yesterday for? Was it a
Veterans
holiday?
Day? Yeah.
Oh, okay. Veterans. Oh, yeah. Duh. Yeah. Yes. It was just, bro, working from home is weird. I don't even catch.
The days holidays of the week don't have the same. Yeah. They don't have the same meaning.
Were my kids home yesterday?
Probably.
I can't remember, bro.
It depends. It depends on your school districts. Even in
my days go just muddled together, dude. I'm like, they were here earlier today. I can tell you that much. They've been home since 3:45.
You can confirm that.
I can confirm that. Yes. So we're gonna each pick a couple albums. We're gonna talk about what song is the worst, and this is objective. What is the worst song on the album, and then also objectively, what is the best song on each one of these albums? So prepare to be wowed. I don't know, fucking bored. I don't know, dude. Angry, sad, glad, stoked. There's all kinds of different emotions you can feel from a conversation like this. But it'd be cool if you talk to us in the comments, whether it's good or bad. If you need to give me a thumbs down, it's okay, man. It's all right. I get it. I'm wrong sometimes too. It's okay. But dude, I had a cool conversation yesterday, man. I got to talk to Jerry A from Poison Idea.
Oh, nice.
That guy is cool, man. That is a cool dude. And I talked to Frank, bro, because he is from Voodoo Gold Skulls twice. He kept having like internet problems. We had to reschedule halfway through the first one.
Yeah.
I don't know what that Frankenstein ass video is going to look like, but hopefully people enjoy it. That guy's really cool, man. Shout out Voodoo Gold Skull. Shout out Poison Idea. All right. So how you want to do this? I'm going to let you go first today, and then we'll just bounce back and forth between albums.
Okay. So if anyone watched the full episode last week or put it together through the clips, there was 3 bands I had in mind, and I decided because this could go on forever, and we've talked about this. This could be a series because you could basically do this to every band and do several albums within each band's discography.
So, which I plan on doing.
Yeah. this is kind of our excuse to talk about all these albums in this little bite-sized way. So
We're going to talk about Out Come the Wolves again at some point.
Mm.
Maybe not today. Maybe not next time. Yes, it's coming.
It definitely is. So though I decided I was going to stick to all of the same bands that I talked about the last time that we spoke. So I picked different albums from these.
Oh, okay. Different albums, but
yeah,
same band.
Different albums, same band. Another little quirk of mine, really quick, as a quick intro, is, and I don't know how I specifically managed to do this, but I have albums from 3 different decades, and the 90s is not one of those decades. Given what you and I talk about, I don't know how I did that, but be that as it may. Okay. So first up, last week I started this off by, talking down on the first ever punk rock record. So I decided I would move over slightly, stick with the Ramones. I was going to go Ramones and figure out where else I was going to go with this. Now, the journey to do this with the Ramones was a little funky because I thought I would do something from their like mid 80s, late 80s stuff, because that stuff kind of varies in quality.
You should have done that rap album.
Yeah, well, if that was an actual Ramones album, we could have done that. Yeah.
Valid.
But and every song on there is just gold, so I don't know where I would pick for the bad for the bad one. But similar to that, from the same time period of the late 80s, what I found on those late era Ramones records, it's like they don't have a lot of floors in them. If they're not great, it's because they have a lot of, I guess we would say, like mid songs kind of in them. And, the band maybe kind of sounds repetitive at that time, but they're all actually pretty good. So I was like, I actually found a lot less in the later catalog than I thought. So then I thought, you know what, let me go back to like the original Real Sacred stuff. And so what I ended up settling on was 1978's Road to Ruin, the 4th Ramones album.
I knew that was coming out of your mouth. I knew it, bro. I was thinking in my head, like, what album could he possibly be talking about? And I just kept whittling away as you were talking, and I was like, it's gonna be Road to Ruin.
And I would say with
Ruin, excuse me,
with Leave Home and Rocket to Russia, couldn't find the song honestly that stood out as much as like the song that I would put in last place. And so that's why I eliminated those two. There's a few covers, like, as I mentioned last week, that I don't care for as much, but I don't count that in the same kind of way. So Road to Ruin, just for context, is the first album with Marky Ramone on the drums. Tommy is still there. He's still producing it, but Marky actually plays the drums. And I think as thus, like sonically, it's just a lot better album. They just sound a lot better than they do on the first 3 albums. And there's plenty of songs that you would say as like the greatest song in here. I think most people would say I Want to Be Sedated as the common one. That's the one that people knew, that people know. And there's a ton of other great ones. That the song that the band Bad Brains was inspired by, the song Bad Brain, is on this. She's the One, which I think is a great song. But I am going to pick where did it go with this? There it is. I'm Against It, which is just a classic.
That's your favorite song?
Yes.
Okay.
That's my top song. It's just a classic defiant punk rock song. And it's got this cool, like nihilistic, I don't like history. It just basically names anything you could possibly name and says, I don't like it. I think that's classic Ramones, sort of punk rock snottiness, immaturity, all that sort of stuff that you would like about a band like this. It's got it right there in I'm Against It. Plus, it's also like super fast. And I guess that's not really breaking much ground saying a Ramones song is super fast, but it has, I think this one feels fast. And it has a feel that you can hear in a lot of like later music. It's in that same style of the way, like when you hear a Green Day song is fast, it kind of sounds like that. Whereas I think with the Blitzkrieg Bop is very fast, but it has more of that wall of sound, kind of sound coming from it. And that's the difference, I think, on again, some of the stuff with the production on this album. So I love I'm Against It. I love going through all the things. It's a fun little checklist if you actually read the lyrics, all the little things he says he's against, and it's a cool lyric writing trope, all that. Love it. Okay, now on the other end of this, there's this song, track number 9. No one ever talks about this Ramones song because it's a piece of crap song. It's called Questioningly. And I don't know what's going on in Questioningly. It's weird because there's a few, last week we talked about I Want to Be Your Boyfriend being like the not great song, because that's like when the Ramones are doing like their 50s boy band kind of thing.
Right.
And they have a few songs in there and they're pretty good at doing that. It's just not necessarily what I like about the Ramones. That's why that gets this one. This is kind of in this vein, but it's more of like, no, it's not going to be that we're going to be 1950s teen pop stars. This is like, we're going to be crappy, like late 60s teen pop stars is what this song kind of starts sounding like. So you got acoustic guitar, which is always a little questionable in Ramones songs. It's the weirdest thing ever. You're starting out with
a terrible take on there, or terrible, choice.
Yeah. And And then like the song lyrics aren't the best. There's a part at the end where he says, "I don't like you anymore." And it kind of has that little bit of the Ramones feel to it that comes back. But honestly, this whole thing, it just sounds like a generic 70s rock song. It sounds like the kind of rock music that the Ramones specifically tore down and made look really, really silly. It's kind of them doing it. And surprise, they're really good at the other stuff. They're not so good at whatever they were trying to do there. I would say that song, honestly, could go on Rock and Roll High School, End of the Century, could go on that album. It's got that kind of Phil Spector, like 1960s, 1970s pop feel to it. So that to me, honestly, the other on this record, they also have Needles and Pins, which I cannot stand either, but that is a cover. But I just do not like the Ramones version of it. I don't like the way it sounds. But I would argue, unlike I Want to Be Your Boyfriend, I would argue questioningly, if I had a contender for worst Ramones songs, that one might win it.
Of like all their discography?
Yeah.
Or their, as a band?
Yeah, if I were to just go on every, because again, there's a lot of like boring Ramones songs or sort of like songs that don't stand out, but songs like I kind of actively dislike, I think questioningly is probably one of the few that I can really think of off the top of my head too.
Yeah. It's an interesting album. It's honestly one that I'm not as familiar with outside of I Want to Be Sedated, because I like their first 3 records so much. I never really went super deep into their catalog after that. Like I've owned this album at one point. I've listened to it enough to say, yeah, I've heard it, most of all of it, a bunch of times. But I mean, this is one that I would pick out a handful of songs and put on a mixtape before I would listen to the whole record all the time. But I do agree with your take on questioningly, because that song is, dude, I hadn't thought about that song in so long, and you said it, and I was looking through the track list while you're talking, and I was like, I don't know what song I would dislike. And then you started describing questioningly. I was like, oh, that song does suck. And I was like, that's a bad song. Now, I personally think that I Want to Be Sedated is probably the high mark on this album, objectively, but subjectively, it's probably my high mark too, because that song is so important to me as a youngster, because it was one of the very first punk songs I ever heard. And I think that this is where you come into like these conversations not being so serious. Like, it's just our opinions, and so there's no room for me to say you're wrong. It's just that's what you like, and then this one is what I like. We just happen to agree that the other one is the worst song on the album, which I think is interesting. That doesn't happen all the time with us. We sometimes we'll have very, very opposite opinions on things. So but the Ramones, man, they're a hard band to dislike if you're in my position, because I like all the stuff that is a derivative of the Ramones, like all the Ramones core stuff, all the pop punk, all the like indie punk, all the garage punk, all the stuff that just sounds like, oh, these dudes heard the Ramones and then started a band. It may not sound just like them, but that's what they clearly got inspired by. All of that, I love. And I mean, it's down to the fact, like, even another band, Mr. T Experience, just did this record. Same cover art, same everything same song. It's this record, and that's freaking rad. I'd love to get Dr. Frank on here and talk to him about it. But yeah, dude, Road to Ruin is an album I need to probably spend a little more time with, if I'm honest. But that song, there is no question about it. I'm going to skip it. So, pun intended. So, all right. So, I was going to step out of my comfort zone, and I'm going to bring up 2 albums that we're not even going to really talk about, but so that I can tell you, on one end, I was like, let me go listen to Fugazi. I got about a song and a half in, and I was like, nope, I'm not going to listen to this album. I do not like it. And so that bummed me out a little bit, dude. I was like, man, I really wanted to like go out of my. So we're at my third pick is going to be outside of my comfort zone, but it's going to be a massive album. Like, it is massive, right? But being bummed out by that, I went directly into my comfort zone, and I picked The Bouncing Souls, How I Spent My Summer Vacation. Because this is an album that should have been on last week's video. It is almost perfect. It is almost, and I mean almost perfect. It's so good. I always kind of say that Anchors Away is their best record, because it's when they took their like final form and really became who they are now. I think the tide is turning for me, and I may be on Summer Vacation as like the best album at this point. It's real close. It's very subjective. I think that one and Gold Record, you can kind of throw all three of those in the top three and just mix them however you want. And I wouldn't argue too much with it. I love this record, dude. It's so good. It was actually a little harder to pick the best song on it than I was expecting. Even though it's kind of obvious what the best song is, I had to listen to the record a couple of times to make sure. I was like, let me double triple check this because, dude, you got Private Radio, you've got Broken Record is such a fantastic song. Manthem obviously is a big one. Gone is a closer of the show. This album is just classic after classic after classic. I mean, you could just go tour this album and it would be straight, bro. They'd be fine. So I'm going to start with my obvious favorite song on this album is True Believers. This is the best song on the album because it's also their best song. It is their best song. Out of their entire discography, True Believers is one that'll make a dude like me cry at a show. Like, I will cry tears as I'm singing along with it. Rancid has a few of those too, man. I'll get just in my feels, bro. I think Dropkick Murphys probably has some of those. A bunch of these big staple bands that we love to go see in the bigger venues, they have these songs that just touch you.
They're anthems too. Like, I think it's a true punk rock anthem.
Anthems, dude. I mean, literally, it's called Manthem. It's freaking an anthem. It's ridiculous. How's your feelings on this album kind of start out? This is a classic, right? Like,
yeah, I have the same exact, like, the big three you said. Those are the big. This is one I'm slightly less familiar with, even though I had it the longest, because I just listened to the other two a little bit more. But yeah, I mean, this is the Bouncing Souls for me. That's what this is.
So when I was working my way down to like what is the worst song on this album, there was only two that I even considered. I was like, okay, and this is why this album should have been on last week's or the last video we did together, because one of the songs that I was looking at was Streetlight Serenade to No One, and then I listened to it again and I was like, no, dude, that song rules, man. I just must have missed it when I was like doing my notes. It's just a good song, but it's like talking about his bike. Like, that's awesome. Like, and then I was also talking to Frank from Voodoo Glow Skulls the other day, and he was talking about how he owns a bike shop, and I mentioned this song. Dude, it's perfect, bro. This song's rad. But just by sheer coincidence, the next song is called Late Bloomer. It is a snooze fest. This album goes from like just like breakneck speed, anthem after anthem, and then this serenade to like BMX bikes, which honestly, I don't know what my deal was at first. It's a rad. So it'd be like me singing about a skateboard. It's the same thing. Late Bloomer just really hits the brakes, dude. It slows down the momentum. Fortunately, there's two more songs after that, not just one, because if that was the song before Gone, I think a lot of people wouldn't know Gone as much because they wouldn't have got to it, because this song really slows it down. I know there are going to be people that disagree with me here, but even if you look on the like amount of plays on Spotify, it's on the bottom half. It's like the bottom third. Not as many people listen to that song. Now, Streetlight Serenade is actually the lowest played song on the album, which I find interesting because I think it probably should get a little more credit than that. But yeah, man, are you familiar with that song at all?
A little bit, but when I talk about what I was slightly unfamiliar with this album, that was like one of the songs. I went and played it now, and I recognize what it was. It sounds like, honestly, the songs that they're kind of doing now, and which aren't bad necessarily, but it's just a little bit something that like you said, it brings the mood down just a little bit. It doesn't quite have that sort of ferocity that the other stuff does. And I think actually that register a song too, they got a lot better at by like the Gold Record, where they would do songs like that. I think they were a lot better at it. It's just it feels like a late album track.
I would consider this a growing pain song, one that they had to kind of get through figuring out how to write them. But like their last album, 10 Stories High, I think there's their last album, right?
Yeah,
that album was fantastic, very underrated, very underappreciated. It is a great album. Not a bad song on it, really. I need to go back and listen to it. Maybe I'll feature that one on one of these videos soon. And then their latest single was
Power.
One of the best songs they've put out in probably 10 or 15 years, man. It was really good. So I'm glad to hear that they're still at their peak of writing abilities. And if Pete or Greg sees this, man, I would genuinely, sincerely love to have them on the show one of these days. And I've had people that mention it to them, and I've talked to Pete, and we just haven't been able to nail it down. So like, when I critique their records, it is with the utmost respect. I mean, I talk a lot of shit and joke around a lot, but I love all these bands. I love NoFX, dude. I'm not gonna. How in the world would I even know about a record like The Decline if I wasn't a huge fan of that band? So like, I do run my mouth a little bit, but it is all with just jokes in mind. People take this real seriously, and I get that, but yeah, man, that's the only song on this album that I questioned, like, why did it make it on the album? If they'd have pulled that and this had been 12 songs without that song, this would literally be a 10 out of 10, no skip album. It would be perfect. But that is a rarity in music in general. Like a 10, how many of those exist?
Mhm.
And the grand scheme of thing, give me a percentage. It's less than 1%. It's probably less than a tenth of 1%. Perfect albums that don't come around very often, but this is pretty close, man. Love me the Bouncing Souls.
It's a great one. I found out today, I thought I was going to go see him in December, and I'm not, and I'm really bummed about it.
Wait, why aren't you?
It was just the way everything else worked around, like the next day, what was going on. It was just one of those things, but I was totally going to, and then I found out today I wasn't, and I've been bummed out about that like all day.
Damn, bro,
what that has to do with anything we're talking about. I was just thinking about the Bouncing Souls. Like,
man, okay. So on that same note, I was going to bring up to you later. I guess I'll just bring it up now. We got to figure out a show that I can come out there and see with you, because my friend told me that if I take a train out there, it'll take longer, but it'll cost very little.
Oh.
And I was like, okay, well then I can just plan on getting like a hotel for a night and a rental car, and that's where my money goes.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't have to worry about a plane ticket. That I can probably make happen relatively soon if we can figure out a good show to go to. So we'll talk about that at a later date, but Bouncing Souls would have been perfect for something like that. Are they playing with H2O and somebody else?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's the tour.
I'll be at that show in Houston, so we will see how that goes. But let's move on to your next pick, sir.
All right. So keeping it in the Rob family here. Last week I picked on Bad Religion a little bit on Against the Grain. Turn on the light, leave the, whatever that song is that I always skip, the second song of the album, the one you had on your great playlist. So that was fun. And this week, okay, I got to tell you about what got eliminated. I thought I was gonna do New Maps of Hell, because I think if I'm nominating the worst Bad Religion song ever, because they're taking out the Prague album.
Okay, I was gonna say, bro, there's a whole album we could talk about here.
I was like, taking that album out and taking out stuff that's sometimes a Bad Religion. They have a lot of experimentation on a lot of those albums. So there's some stuff, like, I wouldn't even call a lot of that stuff bad. It's just like, okay, that was kind of a miss. Like they had like an industrial song on Recipe for Hate, and they were like, yeah, we're probably not going to do that again. So, it kind of, it is what it is. But I will say New Maps of Hell has this one song called.
Oh, is that the album we're going with?
No, I just have to mention this song because I really wanted to just bury this song. It's called Prodigal Son. I hate that freaking song. I think it's a terrible, terrible Bad Religion. I can't believe Bad Religion recorded it. Go listen to it to know what I mean. I just think it's.
I'm writing that down. I'm gonna listen to that tonight for
especially
sure.
That album. New Maps of Hell is a really heavy, intense album. Brooks Wackerman is just killing it with the drums on that album, and then that freaking song is just. It's like a bad train song or something. I don't know what is going on there.
That's
okay,
funny, bro.
now that we've buried Prodigal Son. Come on, Greg, what were you doing? Anyway, okay, let's go back to last week. I did where punk rock all started. Let's do where like skate punk really gets codified here. If we're talking about Bad Religion, we're talking about a sacred cow here, 1988 Suffer.
Dude, this album rules so hard.
I was listening to this on the drive after work today, and I was like, you know what? Some days I do my unofficial Bad Religion album ranking in my head like twice a month. I don't know why. And and sometimes No Control's in first place, and sometimes Against the Grain's in first place, and sometimes Suffer's in first place. But like, I always enjoy Suffer the most. There's something about Suffer that's very just I don't know what about it. It's just like very pure or something that I love Suffer. So great album, but there is one skip that I generally have on this album. It is the 7th song on this album, Forbidden Beat.
I think you're not alone with that, dude. Go look at the numbers.
Oh, good. I'm glad I'm not going after something everyone loves, because again, I think for the most part, Suffer's like a perfect album. It's one of those albums. It's 26 minutes long. You get in, you get out. It feels awesome. And I think thinking about it as a skate punk album. I think I hear all these songs that you just put a skate video on in the background to every single one of these songs except for Forbidden Beat. I don't know what I cannot stand the song. And then even the chorus too. It's like, I think they're just trying a little too hard. like they're playing a little bit too much with the idea of like the finding of knowledge and the uncovering stuff and the rebellion and stuff. So it's this big thing of forbidden beat, and just the way the whole thing is laid out, even like the rock part, the way it builds up, I find it just nauseating. I think it'd be like an average song on like New America or one of their like late 90s albums, the major label stuff that wasn't as great, but just forbidden beat, I can't deal with it. I forbid it.
You say you forbid it. That's funny. Hold on, I'm checking out a sample real quick.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I don't know that I have the same vitriol for it you do. It's not a great song though. Yeah, dude, I could live without that song.
Yeah, to me, it's a rock song on a purely punk album. Is where it really just kind of.
It does feel a little out of place, honestly. And I need to listen to that album. It's been a little while, but this album is pretty fun, man. I really enjoy it. So what's your banger banger on this record?
Okay,
which one gets you going?
Yeah, that was hard because it could be many of them, and like no matter what I was gonna pick, they were all cliche. That's like, oh, your favorite song, Nevermind, or something. Yeah, it's like, yeah, they were all hits. So what are you gonna do? But it is the one. It's Do What You Want. To me, that is one of their top 5 songs. From every part about it, the lyrics, the guitar, especially, like there's just something really badass to me about Do What You Want.
I was pretty confident you were gonna go with that song. Mine is a different song, my favorite one on the album, but that is probably my second favorite song on the album. So I love that track. I would go with Give You Nothing is probably my favorite song on the album because that's one of my like favorite songs from a band that I don't gush over. Like I really, really do appreciate and enjoy Bad Religion when they're on, but like I don't seek them out often. It is not a disrespect thing. It is simply a taste thing. I just go, I prefer NoFX version of this versus Bad Religion because, we've talked about it ad nauseum. It's lyrics I don't necessarily understand all the time. I'm not an educated man. I am a smart human being, but I am not an educated person. So there's lyrics and words that I simply just go, what are they talking about? Like I don't even get it, and it's just I'm a dum-dum, so I got to go dum-dum direction with these songs, and I got to listen to the stupid stuff.
That's why he likes Pennywise. No, I'm just kidding.
Bro, what? Hold on, dude. Hey, Jim, if you see this, Fletcher, if you see this, beat this guy up. I didn't say that. I love Pennywise, dude. I prefer Pennywise over BR any day. But yes, but you're right though. I like the more surfer dude, skater dude style of this music than I do the intellectual side.
And Pennywise is hardly unintellectual. Like Pennywise is the least bro-tastic you could get in terms of bro-tastic music. It was
right. No, I know what you mean though. But I was like, wow, that was a kick in the nuts, dude. Pennywise. Blah! Oh,
just kidding.
Yeah, I know. I'm just dude. Kidding. You know what though? People in the comments, man, Pennywise gets bashed, bro. They get bashed hard.
Well, I'm playing on that stereotype with making that comment is because like there is that thing that like Pennywise is what I've heard some people call them what the desert rats are, basically rednecks who live in California.
Yeah, they're like there's jock music. I'm like, dude, listen to the words, man. Those guys are definitely not jocks by choice or trade, man. They're surfers. That's a different kind of punk, dude. Like surfer dudes so there's some overlap there, but look at hardcore. That's what hardcore is. Hardcore is where the overlap is at. That's where like the normie kids like heavy music. They don't listen to punk. They listen to hardcore. Like this is one of the things I don't like about Drain and Knocked Loose. Shout out Drain. Actually, they're not too bad. And their shows are amazing. But like I don't listen to bands like that because I don't fit in with that group of people very well. It's just not my jam, dude.
Well, there's a distinction too between like, okay, Pennywise, I would say more so than a lot of other bands that appeals to like jocks, like because it's like badass, cool music.
Yeah, it's so weird,
like,
isn't it?
So people like that, and I get that, and so, but like that doesn't mean that music is really like jock music, though. I would not say that Pennywise.
It's all because of Bro Him, dude. Let's be honest.
Yeah, and people being late. It's like calling AFI before this album a gothic punk band. Calling them a goth punk. It's the same thing. You're taking some of the visual what you're seeing and applying it there.
I've heard people like give a bunch of grief to Fuck Authority, and I didn't understand that one at all because that song was an anthem to me when I was young. Like I literally like built who I am on that track. Like I'm like, yeah, dude, I feel you on that. I 100% agree with that. I was talking to my mom today and said, yeah, I just don't do Authority very well. I got to work for myself. And she was like, been like that your whole life, son. And I'm like, yeah, 6 years old. I was carving fuck you in my desk at school. Got caught doing it. Got kicked right out. Been the same guy ever since I was 6, bro. Like, I took a knife to school and carved fuck you in my desk at 6. I was awesome. I was not awesome, and I was not cool. I was not popular. I was a little shithead. But, fuck authority. So it is what it is. Also, Give You Nothing. Good song. Bad Religion. Suffer. Great album. Am I up next?
You
Let's
are.
go. All right. Okay. So we're going to go back to literally like almost the day I was born.
Oh,
March 1982. My birthday was March 10th, 1982. So I don't know what day this came out on, but I know it was around the day I was born. Do you know what record I'm fixing to bring up?
82 is a big year. So shoot. No, I don't know. But 82 has got like Descendants. You have what? Go ahead. I don't know.
Okay, so after I tell you what album, I am going to bring up the Descendants since you mentioned it. Misfits, Walk Among Us.
Okay.
Because actually, yeah, I didn't even realize you were wearing a Misfits shirt, bro. My brain is on. I'm looking at your hat. It's so bright green that it just draws my attention.
Well, I moved my lights a little bit, so it kind of changed things today.
So I got a copy of this first press. Finally got to listen to it in its entirety on a first press piece of wax, and it was just like this spiritual thing for me. So I've just been listening to this album a little more lately, and I've talked many times about how I preferred the Michael Graves era Misfits over the Danzig stuff all the way through like maybe my mid 20s, maybe like even later in my 20s until it just clicked and I just stopped caring about the lo-fi sounds that weren't as comfortable to my ears. I don't know. I was a young person and I just had my opinions, and I discovered the Misfits through metal and Michael Graves albums. So like it just is what it is, right? But as a middle-aged person, I am much more attracted to their classic songs and the Danzig stuff because I understand the history of it more. I also know who Michael Graves is more now, so I don't tend to want to support that guy and what he's doing. In this album, I thought, what a great album to talk about for a few minutes because it's got a couple of kind of duds, but it's got mostly bangers on it, man. It's a pretty great album. And yeah, and before we get into that, you said the Descendants. On the next episode of this, I am absolutely, so I'm fixing to make a short video. And when we're done, I'm making a short for Ninth and Walnut. I think that's my favorite Descendants album, dude. I didn't realize what it was for a long time. Like I knew it was
an album that was written a long time ago, but just
written a long time ago, recorded in a more of a modern time. It's exactly what I want. I want those old songs recorded with modern production, and I got it. And I'm like, whoa. So I listened to it today twice all the way through, bro. I jammed the shit out of that record today. It is so good, man. So shout out Descendants. That album was fun, dude. I think that album needs a little more love. So I'm gonna do a little short being like, yo, you like these Descendants records and Circle Jerks? Well, check this record out because that's what it sounds like. But yeah, back to Misfits. Walk Among Us, March of '82. Let's start with the worst song because I feel like it's kind of easy. Do you know what song I'm going with here?
No, I am just racking my brain to figure this out.
Nike A Go-Go.
Okay.
That song is like 4 words through the whole song. I was honestly a little concerned that I might have to pick a different album until that song came on. And I'm like, oh yeah, this song sucks. So that song sucks. It's very repetitive. It's very boring. Thank goodness it's not real long.
I was afraid you were going to go with Mommy, Can I Go Out and Kill Tonight?
I almost said that as a joke, but I like that song because it's so repulsive and offensive. And I'm like, huh. There's a few songs on this album that are pretty offensive.
Well, the Misfits are pretty repulsive and offensive in their very nice. Shout out to the guy.
That's why we like them.
Yes. Shout out to the guy who has the Mommy, Can I Go Out and Grill Tonight tattoo with Hank Hill with the devil lock on himself.
Somebody has that tattooed on them?
Yes. Find it on the internet.
If you're watching this, dude, you can just email me, man. I'll get you on the show, buddy. I know the guy that runs it. That's crazy. Isn't
awesome. That great?
That is amazing. Yeah, so okay, here's the problem with this album is it's not on Spotify really. So you have to like go back to your vinyl records and pull it out and listen to it, which is fine. But the only copy I've got is Fat Mike's First Press. Well, I wasn't going to play that today because, well, if something happened to it, I would lose my mind and cry. So I had to go find all the damn songs on YouTube. And I found like one dude that had like all of them kind of in order. So that was kind of nice. But it took me a few minutes and I was irritated with myself for not just having a copy of the CD. I thought I did. But let me pull up the track listing real quick.
It's hard with Misfits albums, like for me personally, to like I can never answer the question, what's your favorite Misfits album? Because like I just do not categorize their songs by albums at all, because so many of them are collections from different things. Like
It is hard.
the real Misfits heads, which if you have the talent to do, is the difference in the recording quality of like the same versions on different. That's really, I think, if you want to have a good Misfits conversation, that's what you really got to
Right.
know. It's like which versions sound best on which pressings and when they were released, because even that's different with all the disputes they have, because you have the stuff that's recorded over, you have the stuff that clearly Glenn took out Jerry's bass on other mixes, so it's
I actually
kind of a
agree
mess,
with you 100% on this. But I was able to whittle it down. So my first thought was that 20 Eyes would be the worst song on the album, right? It's the only one that is a good song. I like it, but I just it's whatever. You have Night of the Living Dead on here. You've got Astro Zombies. I mean, there's a lot. Dude, I Turned Into a Martian is probably the second best song on the album. I love that song. I don't know how you feel about that one, but I really like that song a lot.
I love that song. Yeah, that'd be probably my top 3 on this one would be I Turned Into a Martian.
The best song on the album. It is Skulls, dude. It is. Like it's so melodic yet still so dark and lo-fi and DIY, but big and cinematic at the same time. And it's just, I think it might be the first old Misfits song that I liked. They also had a couple on here that, let's see, had a couple that I wasn't like a super fan of, but on like other subsequent listens, I really like the whole album. But like, I also want to bring up All Hell Breaks Loose, because I think that's my second favorite song on the album, actually. Because I heard that via Metallica, and I was a young kid, and I didn't understand that it was a cover song. I just liked it. And then when I was at a friend's house, and because we talked about how Megadeth introduced me to the Sex Pistols, and Metallica introduced me to the Misfits. I think I was brought into punk via metal, thrash metal specifically. All Hell Breaks Loose is really good, man. And I can understand how you take that song and turn it into a metal song. It fits perfectly. But Skulls has all like the melody and the pretty sounds, and like also like the horror movie aesthetic, and it's a pretty perfect song. Skulls is a pretty great track, man.
Yeah, I mean, these are great. Like, to me, these are the 2 best Misfits songs there are Skulls and Astro Zombies. I think those are the 2. Like, if I had to pick, I'd probably pick those 2 as
man, let me think of their best 2 of their whole discography, huh? Man, Skulls is up there. Astro Zombies may not be that high for me. Although, dude, I gotta say, man, if I had to pick out their entire, are we counting Graves songs? Because my favorite Misfits song is the Michael Graves song. So it is what it is, bro. I'm not gonna even go into that further, but I can't help it. It is what it is. Hold on. Let me look at their track listing real quick.
Yeah. To your point on Skulls, here's something you would appreciate. I loved it like 8 years ago when the MMA fighter Angela Hill came out to Skulls as her entrance.
Oh, dude, Angela Hill's rad for that.
And I just think that's such a perfect. If you're going to be an MMA fighter, what's better than saying, "I want your skull. I need your skull."
Oh, I'm an idiot, dude. Hybrid Moments is probably their best song.
Okay, that would be the other one in the mix. With
Hybrid. I was like, what song am I not thinking of right now? It's Hybrid Moments. But I think so. What's is it Dig Up Her Bones? I think that's probably my favorite song by them.
That's the Graves era single. Yeah.
When I was a kid, that's the first album that I got by them, and that's the first song that I was like, dude, this shit is awesome. And it was all like the video was real corny and bad, and I liked it. And I just saw a video recently of Michael Graves performing that song in a small club, and I put a comment. I think I even reposted it, and I was like, dude, because it was like jam-packed with people, and they were like crowd surfing and jumping, and everybody was singing the chorus. It was so fun looking, man. And I put, dude, this for $40 beats $150 nosebleeds for Misfits with Danzig all day. And I think that might be a controversial statement to anybody that's not a fan of like real punk rock, when you want to go to a club and see a band play in a small setting. So it depends on who you are. I think metal fans and then like diehard Misfits fans will probably disagree with that, and that's totally acceptable. I don't care, whatever. But like, man, I would love to see any of these guys play in any kind of small club, and that includes Graves. I would love to see him play the 2 albums that he put out in a small club, dude. that guy's vocals were awesome, man, and those songs were great. It sucks that he sucks. It's unfortunate, man. And dude, Danzig sucks too on just different categories. But yeah, man, Walk Among Us is. I hate that these guys are like people that I don't think I'd like much. Well, okay, the two frontmen, right? I think everybody else is probably fine. I don't know them very well. I don't know much about them. I'm a late stage Misfits guy. I didn't get into Misfits until I was much older. Like it's just I got into their later stuff. Never liked their older stuff till I was older, and then I just got into them at like closer to 30 than 20. So,
Jerry and his brother just seem more just whatever about like non-controversial in that way, whereas like Glenn seems like difficult within the music business, and then obviously Graves just seems like a horrible person, like, you know, outside.
So my opinion is weird on Graves. I don't even think that he's a horrible person. I think he's a dumbass. I think he's unintelligent, because like I've listened to him talk about this and I'm like, oh, I don't think he knew at all what he was talking about. Like, I don't think he knew what he was agreeing with. I think he's kind of a dullard. Like, it is what it is, bro's kind of dumb. So, not that that gives him a pass, man. Educate yourself, bro. You can't be a bad person and be like, well, I just didn't know. You know, I just don't think that he's a terrible person. I think he made some real horrible choices. Dude, we're going to get into that kind of conversation. We got to bring out the Interrupters too. I mean, you know, they've done some shit that I was like, well, why would you do that? Dude, they were like 20, man.
Yeah.
Specifically, it wasn't even they. It was Amy. Like, who, I don't know, man. It's weird to hold that shit against people like years down the road when they're clearly not behaving like that. And I don't know about Graves. I don't know what he's doing these days. I don't pay attention or care. But I liked his music when I was a young man, and it's unfortunate that he turned out to be kind of a turd. Because I don't listen to the music anymore, man. I just it's the Anti-Flag thing, dude. I can't listen to it. I just can't. That guy in my store recently talking about, oh, I just, you know, I listen to it. I just don't think about. I'm like, that's supporting the guy, bro. I can't do it. And like you saw that Homeboy came out. Was it Chris number 2?
Yeah.
Do you see that?
I saw your thumbnail on it. I never went further to
so he came out and like made this like seemingly heartfelt apology, but it also had like whispers of like media obligations type stuff. I feel like he's preparing to come back out and start another band, or maybe get Anti-Flag back together with a new singer or something, or maybe he'll just sing or something like that. But I'm concerned about that being the option, because I don't think I can support that. Those songs were written by Justin, and I can't dig that.
You can't square the message of those songs with who wrote them. Like that's the difference in that and like the Misfits. Because I mean, like think about the subject matter we're talking about in Misfits songs and all that. But that's not meant to. That's a movie essentially. That's
the exact issue. That's why the Anti-Flag thing was such a big deal.
Right. That's why that matters in a different way.
Yeah, this is like a political band. This is like the band of the people, so we thought. And this was, and look, dude, there's plenty of people that thought they were corny forever, but that band got a lot of people into good music, and they got a lot of people into politics. And I would say that there's even some proof that they helped a lot of people. But that guy, Justin, did a lot of damage, and you can't really just fix that damage. And so I can't listen to songs that he wrote and take it seriously at all. And it does bother me, because I cut my teeth on that their first couple of big albums, like Die for Your Government and New Kind of Army. I cherished those albums. That is, being appalled at the situation was first feeling, and then immediately after that I was like, dude, they just ruined 2 of my favorite records of my whole life. Like, so
yeah, I got so much of my identity from that band, and I think a lot of people did. And so it's a tough thing to grapple with, because you know it's like, you know, you weren't necessarily a part of that, and even with Chris coming out, like I'm sure he can make good music, and I'm sure he can make music that is impactful. I just think that brand specifically is like, that's dead and buried.
Yeah, he can't do like AF style music either. It can't sound like Anti-Flag. It's got to have, honestly, different tone. It needs to be more like maybe some storytelling type shit. I don't know, dude. I don't know what that guy's going to be able to write that I'm going to be able to take seriously.
It's going to be uphill, I think, too, because it's just like, how are you going to play shows, and how is it not going to be like a massive issue every night and stuff?
Every single night they're going to get up there, at least for the first couple of tours, and be like, hey, look, guys, we're really sorry. And they're going to have to like overcorrect to a point to where it's going to get gross, and it's going to become, they're going to be like, You know how you have those guys that are like super feminists, and you're like, that's not real, man. You're not really like that. You're being
Yeah.
weird.
Yeah. The
It's
guys who,
gonna be
yeah.
that. And it's like, I don't feel like this is genuine. I am a genuine, like, believer in protecting people of all shapes, sizes, colors, sex, whatever. But I'm also a proponent of women's rights are important. And I don't overdo it. But if you ask my opinion, I'll give it. And if I need to sign something, I'll sign it. If I need to go somewhere and participate, I will go somewhere and participate. And if I see a dude being a shithead, I will intervene. But I don't have to get up and talk about it on stage all the time. I don't have to bring it up on the channel very often. It's just my behavior shows who I am, my actions. So it's going to become, I feel like I feel like it's impossible, honestly. It's going to become gross and people are going to just roll their eyes and move on. And I honestly kind of feel bad for him because I don't know
Yeah.
that he was complicit in all that stuff. I don't think that they were. I've talked to a few people, and I'm not going to say who, but people that know them really well. And they said that when they were out with Justin, it was like these dudes and then that dude. It was kind of reminiscent of that guy in Lost Prophets. They would have like the band, and then he would be like off doing his own thing. And like, except the only difference is that Justin didn't get out and act all weird and like he wasn't like some like what's that guy's name from 30 Seconds to Mars?
To the Jared Leto.
He's not some like Jared Leto type, whereas the other guy from Lost Prophets kind of was. And so I think Anti-Flag dude might have been sober too. So he was like, maybe, I can't remember. I don't know. So anyways, let's get off this topic and move on to another album. But dude, sorry, I thought of Michael Graves and I had to explain myself because I was like,
well, no, I mean it's a conversation.
It organically pops up like once every 6 months for us, and I just why can't we stop?
We need to differentiate between that situation and then what we're talking about with like Michael Graves. I do think those are different.
I know they are different. Michael Graves is a dumbass, and Justin's a fucking creep, predator. So, yeah, good riddance to that guy. I'm glad he's out of here. Hopefully he'll get some punishment that he deserves, and hopefully he'll reflect on things and come back to his life a different person, and I'll never have to see him again. But
he fled the country, huh? Isn't that the latest?
I think he's out in the UK somewhere.
Yeah.
But it is what it is, man. Okay, I think you're going to bring up NoFX next.
Yes. You are paying attention. Congratulations.
That's rare, dude. It's rare. Don't count on that happening all the time.
You gotta give a student a compliment when they achieve their goals. Okay, so now skipping over the 90s for some inexplicable reason. Because again, the only stuff on those records, there's the one cover that I don't like on So Long and Thanks for the Shoes, and that was pretty much all I would have for the rest of it. And then I went into the 2000s albums, which like, it's funny because we have the dynamic on this show where you love the 2000s NoFX and I love the 90s NoFX, but like that doesn't mean that I dislike the 2000s stuff. And I would actually, when we do the albums rankings, those albums would rank very high. So I'm going to go with one of my favorite, and I know one of your favorite, and I think for NoFX fans, what everyone considers like their most underrated album is 2006's Wolves in Wolves Clothing. Just a fantastic album that I think, honestly, if it was just released at a slightly different time, or as we talked about, had a few less songs on it, would be considered, I think, quite greater than it is. But if you look at like even the trajectory of the band, like they never really moved on from that little yellow banner that they got from this album. I think a lot of that was one of their kind of peak albums that they that the band like Yes Fat Mike what their best album is, and he mentions this like in every other interview, every third interview he'll mention Wolves in Wolves Clothing, which I don't disagree. I don't disagree with them. And it's got great songs. It's got an intro and a closer song that are tied together, which is kind of a cool touch. Plenty of mostly political songs. Even though War on Errorism gets the reputation as their political album, maybe because it has George Bush on the cover of it. But this album has as many political songs, I would say, as that album, or political adjacent songs. So picking one of the top level songs, I think, was kind of hard from this one, because ask me tomorrow and I might pick a different one. Some of the ones that just miss the cut, You Will Lose Faith, which I think is actually one of their more underrated songs. I think where it comes on the album kind of kills it a little bit. The actual song, Wolves in Wolves Clothing, Cool and Unusual Punishment, great song. Leaving Jesus Land, I think the song that probably most people know from this album.
No, dude, Seeing Double is the one that.
Yeah, see, you're right. It's Seen Double. It's got the video. and all of that too. And USA Holes again, all great classic songs. But I decided to go with one that isn't necessarily a punk banger, but has always been probably my favorite song on the album, which is track number 5, The Marxist Brothers.
Ooh, that's the one I had highlighted when you said that. That's interesting.
So because again, it's not Seeing Double at the Triple Rock is a No Effects song in that sort of, the driving skate punk. Marxist Brothers picks up towards the end, but it's more in the Fat Mike telling a story kind of song, or making fun and doing his thing. And I just love how it's not really ahead of its time, because this is a thing back then, but sort of how much that song is very applicable to like the last like 10 years of the merging of politics and pop culture. I think that song just hits on it so well. And for those of you who are unfamiliar with it, it's Fat Mike making fun of rich people activism, which I think is a lot like nowadays we don't care about it one way or the other. But like there was this thing in the 90s where it was like really fun to make fun of like celebrities when they would like have a cause or something like that. And then you go through the 2000s and the Iraq War, and even No Effects, Fat Mike becomes one of those celebrities that sort of put that way. But
it was also like disingenuous most of the time.
Yeah, and it's like his note about it is basically the comfortable life that people live in Hollywood and our modern American world, but yet we're still going to be radical, and we're still going to protest, and we're still going to, that we're going to meet in underground parking lots that are well lit. He talks about that, and we got the new revolutionary book on Amazon. It also speaks to the good old thing of like, what difference are any of us really making? We're participating in the big, and all these things that people accuse No Effects of never really talking about and being kind of surface level. It kind of like, no, they're aware of these things. They're just being kind of ironic as they're doing it. So I just really like the whole vibe of that song. It takes me back to some of the things that will be critical of celebrity culture in like 2004 aren't necessarily things we're critical of now. We have different things that we'd be critical. Now
you've changed a lot, bro.
You'd be talking smack about people's like social media presence and that kind of stuff that they do. And there we're talking about the kind of cars people drive and the kind of coffee you drink. Those are like early 2000s things that you would dog on celebrities for. So I really love I think the Marxist Brothers, it makes a point and it's got a little bit of humor to it. And I just think it's like a top level, one of those kind of top level No Effects songs.
I'm trying to go through and see which one, because I love this record. So I'm trying to figure out like what song on it would I say I don't think is like good. So like the Marxist Brothers, I don't like the song like per se, but I don't dislike the song. Like it's fine. I think it's a objectively good song. But this album it might be my first or second favorite album by them. It's either this or Coaster. Coaster gets no love. Honestly, dude, pump up the volume. Like there's like this 4-album span where they did basically everything that I wanted them to do. I was like, oh, I don't need anything else from this band. Like this is my era. Here's a hot take. I love the album art on this record. It's just so punk rock, dude. It's so bright. It's in your face. It's kind of silly. And the title of the album I think is great. I like the updated logo with the little the
target
thing on there.
They never moved on from that. I think that's kind of their final logo, right? There's a few variations of it, but that's kind of where they stuck with.
Yeah. I don't know where I'm trying to figure out what song I would like the least. You went with your favorite already, right? You haven't talked about your least favorite yet?
So, and this one, let me be clear. This is not a bad song. It's just clearly unfinished. And that is Instant Classic. It's 34 seconds long.
I literally highlighted it and was waiting for you to say it.
Stops in the middle of the verse. So whatever it was building to was going to be pretty good.
Yeah, songs. Yes. It's one of those songs. Like, okay, here's the thing. Bands like The Offspring and bands like No Effects have a bunch of really great, serious songs that are like topical, they're important, and they're fast, but they slowed their tempo down and they do these like silly songs. I hate all of them. That's one of them. I'm going to go ahead and just agree with you on Instant Classic being my least favorite song on this record. I don't like it.
And there's nothing even in the 34 seconds we get. There's nothing like I said last week. I love like stupid fast No Effects. Like I don't necessarily share that take with you. I like their humorous kind of songs. But to me, this feels like a demo where you're just filling in nonsense words to get through the thing. Like there's nothing even there. Like I'm not even that interested in what it was building towards. You know what I mean? It's just kind of it comes and it goes, and it doesn't need to be there. Because I was thinking, well, they'd have that song they do in Spanish, but that song's kind of badass.
I almost brought that one up too, but then I thought the same thing.
But because that's the one I thought of. And then I went back and listened to it. I was like, no, this song is great, and it's a great NoFX song, and that the band sounds amazing in it. So, yeah,
I'm gonna say it's a tie between One Celled Creature and Instant Classic, but I'm also willing to accept that maybe there's a joke within Instant Classic that I just don't get. And somebody in the comments is gonna go, well, they meant this and this, and that's why they did that. And I'm gonna go, oh, okay, I still don't like it, but at least I get it now.
And there might be a Vinyl Club member that knows what the full song is too.
Right.
So that could also be the case. It's just in the context that was presented, and like this album, I listened to a lot when it came out, and even then, it was just like, you have to skip the 34-second song. It just doesn't need to be there.
Yeah, it's very unnecessary. Let me think here on my favorite song on the album. Dude, this album is so good. Seeing Double at the Triple Rock is a classic, but I don't think it's my favorite.
That feels overrated to me. Like it's the one they chose to distribute, so a lot of people know it, but I don't know.
I agree with that.
Yeah, and it's not even a bad song. It's just like,
no, I think it's a really good song. I just think if they would have let it just be a really good song, it might be like the deep cut we all love.
I believe because it's got a video, and I think it got licensed to a video game as well. So it's a very well known song.
The Man I Killed is a really good song. Leaving Jesus Land is a really good song, but I think Getting High on the Down Low is my favorite song on the album because it's so it's so personal to me. Because I understand all the lyrics so well because I'm like, ooh, I've been there. Boy, have I done a bunch of shit that I thought people didn't know I was doing. And they all knew. Yeah, NoFX is awesome.
Benny Got Blowed Up, too, one last word on it, is a great example of how you can make a silly protest song, too. Like, if you want to, like, you have these, like, jokey bands. Like, joking bands can do, like, NoFX also has real serious, dark songs, but you can have a jokey song and make it, like, political in tone. And Benny Got Blowed Up is just an amazing song of the story of, like, basically your crazy friend that did all this stuff that should have killed him. And he never thought he'd go to the military and get, and that's the whole thing about Benny Got Blowed Up. After the ODs and suicides and everything we survived.
That's actually kind of crazy to be thinking about that. I had a friend that died off of one, I don't know if I can even say this word or not on here, but he took one Xanax and he had like a beer or two, but he was like 6'3" and 260 pounds. And this is way before the fent thing going on.
Yeah.
And he just died. And I always thought about, like, when you bring up scenarios like that, I'm always like, that's what got Cody. That. I'm like, dude, all the nights that I watched him take handfuls of all kinds of stuff like that and just keep on partying. And then one night he goes, oh, man, my anxiety's kicking in real bad. I need to take this so I can go to bed, which it was like actually a prescribed, like at this point, it was like a prescribed medication. He was
not self-medicating.
Definitely should have not drank the beers, but I think he only had 2 12-ounce bottles of beer that evening, but he took that and then woke up dead. R.I.P. Cody, who's played guitar in my band. Dude was my roommate. Yeah, Benny got blowed up. Cody got blowed up. It's unfortunate, but I've told people for most of my life to not take that shit, regardless of whether or not it's prescribed, because it's incredibly dangerous. So. I don't understand how half the shit's even allowed. Like, I don't understand how half the pharmaceutical industry is even rocking and rolling like it is, dude. It's clearly just for money. Like, it's so gross. Oh well, I can't fix that today. I'll try
there is a great NoFX song on that too, right? I can't think. Well, not just the pharmacist's daughter, but let me get a few.
Okay, really that song is awesome, and I used to be in love with the pharmacist's daughter as well.
There's on the 2016 album, which is taking me forever to click to. Oh, Oxymoronic, and the whole and the whole point is it's who's going to jail, who's selling the chronic, and who's getting paid as who's doing, and it's totally.
That actually is a very good song. I haven't heard that one in a little while. I haven't done a NoFX deep dive in a little while. I might do that over the next couple of weeks.
I got called out by my daughter for not listening to him enough recently. Check my Spotify stats, and they weren't on there.
Dang, how old's your daughter?
She's in 8th grade. Yeah.
Tell her Uncle Randall said that's awesome.
She needs to stop talking crap though, and calling me a poser. That's not cool.
Is she into punk stuff, I guess?
Adjacently, like she's in. So people
like stuff.
Yeah, she likes pop music that has like a punk, but like it's a funny thing when people ask her about punk stuff, she always says I'm the reverse poser because people don't think like when you ask her about the Misfits, she'll tell you about the Misfits, and
That's awesome.
it's because she's lived in this house, so
Dude, good for her, man. That's cool.
it
She'll probably
rubs
be a
off.
cool high schooler.
So yeah, be a reverse poser. That's kind of a cool status to have when people don't think you're you know anything, and suddenly you just know stuff.
Honestly, yes. All right, I am prepared to die on this hill.
All right.
All right. Let me lead off with that. I am prepared to die on this hill. I stepped out of my comfort zone and I picked an album that I do not like because I thought, let me get an album I don't like so I can say something positive about it and give it like my favorite song on the album. Blink 182's self-titled album. I don't like this record. It is not good. And that's okay. It can exist. I don't care. But it's not a good record. I mean, in all like reality, it's not a good punk record. It is probably a fine record. But this is when Blink 182, like, in my opinion, they took their first break for a few years, right? Around this time? Or am I tripping? After this. Okay. This is when they like really so they did it was Enema and then it was this one?
Enema, Take Off Your Pants.
Take Off Your Pants. Okay. So Take Off Your Pants that's okay, that's actually yes, thank you. I'm not a historian of this band. My apologies, everybody in the comments that are hating me already. So I love Dude Ranch. I love Enema of the State, and I've grown to really love Cheshire Cat over the last year and a half. Rob, you're probably to credit for that. Honestly, I didn't really like that album as much until we talked about it a couple times. But then Take Off Your Pants and Jacket, while I can appreciate the hilarious title, like, I just thought, okay, is this what we're doing now? Because, like, songs like The Rock Show, it's a good song. Stay Together for the Kids, okay, I get it, I guess. But, like, I don't know, man. It started showing signs of, like, they're getting older. They're tired of playing in these smaller arenas. They want to play big, giant arenas, not theaters. They want to play giant arenas. And they want to play, and they probably were already doing pretty good.
I was going to say the Takeoff tour was at the time the biggest tour, that the most money that anyone had ever spent on a tour.
Oh, really?
So they had already reached that status by that point. Yeah.
Well, I'm wondering. So here, I mean, this is big, and this just shows my ignorance on this album. I don't like it much. I don't know a lot about it. When it came out, I remember being kind of psyched, honestly, because I do like Blink-182. And when this album came out, there was only one album that they had that I didn't really care much for, and I still had the album. Take Off Your Pants. I still had that record. Like, I still owned it. So I was like, all right, cool, new album. And I saw the cover art for this record, and I was like, ugh. I was like, what is this? And I was like, oh no, I know exactly what's happening. And around this time, I was working at, guess where? Hot Topic. So, like, all this shit was like shoved down my throat. Like, it was like, you have to listen to this all the time. And then they dropped their first single, I think, was Feeling This, right?
I want to say that. I mean, that's how I remember it. So
okay. So, okay, let me just start with my favorite song. Because I did listen to the album in its entirety 2 times to make sure that I wasn't like having some stupid hot take or anything. 8 months ago, maybe 12 months ago, if you'd have asked me, what is the worst Blink 182 song of all time? Give me one song. I would have said, I Miss You.
Okay.
Something happened between then and now, and it's my favorite song on this stinking album now. And it irritates me to no end because I spent probably 20 years saying that song sucked. But I think it's because it's basically like it's like a meme song. So it's gotten so ridiculous that I've come back around to being like, that's kind of hilarious because it's a meme now. It's like, it started an entire song of talking. It inspired a lot of silly short videos. And maybe it's just gotten so ridiculous that it's become nostalgic to me. I don't really know how to explain it other than that. I like the song, man. I used to hate it, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's a pretty song, and I think that but this is the moment when they became who they are now. Is this song? This is the moment. This is like Time of Your Life for Green Day. This is the moment where they were no longer just like a pop punk band. They're an emo band now. Like when this song came out, they were no longer like Dude Ranch Blink-182. That has completely changed. They are now like swoopy hair, like darker clothing, like rocking with Alkaline Trios as one of their bigger influences. Like it just in this album it shows that. And throughout this album, I heard a lot of Alkaline Trio. Just influence. Like I'm not trying to like talk shit. I'm not. It has nothing to do with anything like happened later with their band. Just I heard things in this album that I thought, oh, I've heard them reference how they started listening to the Alkaline Trio and really liked it around 2000. This is evidence of that because there's like 3 or 4 songs. As a matter of fact, I wrote down a couple. Asthenia is I said this is low key a pretty good Alkaline Trio song, and then like it's also got a great bass line and hand claps, by the way. Easy Target, also a song that is heavily influenced by Alkaline Trio. And don't they have like a freaking Robert Smith thing on here?
Yeah.
Bro, like, come on. Do not tell me that they were not inspired by Alkaline Trio. I don't want to hear it. All this being said, a couple of years ago, if you'd have asked me, what's the one song on this album that you like? I think I would have said Feeling This. I fucking hate this song now. It's so stupid. Dude, it's so bad. It is so bad. I think I just liked it because it came out and I was like, oh, new Blink-182. And I thought, oh, that's kind of different because it's a very different song.
Mm-hmm.
So like
it was jarring too. For those of you who weren't around back then, that was a jarring song when it came out.
I'm like, dude, all right, I get it, man. I get it. You're stoked. I get it, bro. Stop. And again, I'm gonna be clear. I am 43. My back hurts. My knees hurt. My ankle hurts most of the days. I'm grumpy. I'm old. I get it. You can call me grumpy old. I already know. This song drives me nuts. And I didn't used to actively like it because I've never liked this album. But I do actively like I Miss You Now, which is blowing my own mind. But Feeling This, I would have thought was probably like and when I first played it, dude, I literally threw my pen in the air because I was writing down like the best. I had to scratch out best song. I wrote it down, Feeling This, and then I had to scratch it out and be like, well, what do I do now? I was like, this is stupid. I thought I loved this song or liked it at least. No, I mean, I couldn't even. It drove me nuts, bro. It's because, okay, the same kind of feeling happened with their newest album. They had that song Edging come out, and I was like, oh, I kind of like this. They're back. Okay, cool. I can dig this. Only difference is I listened to Edging today too, and I still like that song. So I don't know what. I think it's just because this is so far removed from what I think of as Blink-182 that I guess I just liked it for a while. I don't know. I don't think there has to be an explanation. I just liked it at one point, and I don't any longer. And I don't to the point of saying it sucks at this point. Like I just don't. I just can't dig it, man. Anyways, tell me how wrong I am.
I don't necessarily disagree with you on Feeling This in terms of it. It's got that we've talked about this a lot on this series of episodes, that sort of lead single fatigue. I think because I Miss You has transcended like pop punk and the music we listen to. Like you were saying, it's a meme, it's a thing. You know, it's great when you're walking around and people, where are you? It's great. It's fun. So go back to 2 years ago, watch the video you and I did about our Blink-182 album ranking. I could not have been more negative on this album. And yeah. Nowadays, I own a t-shirt of this album.
Okay.
I listen to it, really, really, I love this album. And I love most of the songs on this album. I don't think of it like I think of it as a Blink album. I think of it as one of the definitive Blink albums, but it's part of it's part of that classic Blink run.
Right.
And it's exactly what you're saying. Blink-182, I would say, sees themselves in this mode forever. Like that is what they feel. I think the band is going forward is what they established here. And again, this like Blink-182 has so many of like the rock and roll history cliches that have happened to that band. They are very much a very traditional band in a lot of ways. This is like, we talk about like bands who have their masterpiece albums.
Right.
That they end up kind of working so hard on them that the band's always never the same after the case. And all the animosity that the band has and stuff really seems to comes from Take Off Your Pants. That's where it started, because that's why that album sounds kind of how you picked up on somehow something's a little off there. And it's because all the band members wanted to go in all their different directions. They were kind of allowed to on this album.
44, Angels and Airwaves, all that stuff was happening after Enema of the State.
Right. And if you're, it's a little fresh in my mind because Mark's book came out a few months ago, and that's what it really was. I think like nowadays they've talked about it. Now they feel like then they're at the point of their career whatever song Mark, Tom, and Travis make, that's a Blink song because Mark, Tom, and Travis are making it. But
Right.
I think they felt boxed in by the formula that had made them so successful with that pop punk formula. And we know what these, like, the only one that I think really loved that formula, it was Mark. Mark is so
And
Mark,
that's my favorite member of the band.
and,
So
and
like,
Mark's two favorite bands that he'll talk about in terms of influence are the Descendants and the Cure. And that those are the two things that make up Mark Hoppus's, like he wanted to play bass because of the Cure. And then he always said that, but the Descendants were the one that had the lyrics that he could kind of relate to. And he put it, and those were the things. But I think
that guy.
he would have stayed in it. Now, Tom wanted to do more hardcore stuff. Or,
right.
That's
and
where,
like post-punk, post-hardcore.
Yeah.
Like, you want to do like weird sounds.
Yeah.
Travis going to hip-hop. That's
and Travis
weird trio of people.
Travis is down with either the hardcore punk or the hip hop. He's kind of on one end and they found him in a ska band. So it's the funniest thing ever. But I think what this album was really their attempt to fit all of those things into one. I think that's why they're kind of proud of how this came out. Now, again, like it kind of destroyed the band, the process of doing it, because this was the longest recording session. It was the most money that they ever spent on it, because this was a hell of an album to make, because the songs were just so complex and so many layers. It's the last album they did with Jerry Finn, so we've talked about a lot the kind of quality that he demanded. I've come to love this album, but I do categorize it as a different kind. Like when I'm in the mood for pop punk, obviously Blink is one of the first bands that I can think of like, I want to hear some good like summertime pop punk. When I think of just good music in general, I want to hear, I think of this album. And I love like feeling this, like I got you on that. But like Obvious and Violence, songs 2 and 4. I love those songs. Love those songs. They're weird. They're different. They don't really sound like Blink songs.
You're explaining what my issue with the album is, which I don't want bands to not grow and change.
Yeah.
AFI is a great example. I don't really like their newest album, and it's mostly due to the vocals. The music's actually pretty great in my opinion. It's a little derivative, but like it's pretty great. But I don't want them to not make that album. Make the album. I don't have to listen to it. There's going to be a million people that love it. We're just talking about opinions, and I can't get over the fact that people don't understand that. Like, feeling this, I just listened to a part of it again. I was like, what was it that was bothering me? I used to like it because I really do still like the chorus.
Mm-hmm.
But it's gotten to where I don't get to the chorus fast enough, and all I can hear is Tom singing, and it's really bad.
Mm-hmm.
Where do we go from now? It's so bad, dude. Like it's objectively bad.
You probably hate it though for the same reason I don't like that song. It's because you were there at the time, and that was a really fucking annoying, like that part specifically by the losers that were shopping in your Hot Topic, like those people. Like those annoying teenagers. I don't know why I'm ranting on the people who were basically my demographic at the time, but I was even, because the Blink thing was weird for me, because like that was my Dude Ranch band and I knew they were huge, but this was like, because I was like, oh, they suck. They sold out now, as if like they signed to the major for this one. That was my like 15-year-old brain. But I remember like people would walk around singing that intro, and it was like, and they're making fun of him too. That's the other thing, is like they're not even doing it in a way where you're sort of trying to affect the thing you're doing. They're sort of doing it and they're making fun of it, and it's all so light. And I think that was very annoying in 2003. Like that song was super annoying.
It felt like he was like overdoing it a bit. I was like, yo, dude, reel it in a little bit, man. You're good at what you do. But it felt insincere, and it felt like he had some like insecurities. It felt like he was like in his own head, and he went for it when maybe you should have just kind of like let it, like listen to Mark in that song, and he sounds so much just like Mark doing his thing. That doesn't sound like Tom to me. It sounds like Tom being told what to do and then going, oh, okay, and then doing it.
Now, they were very conscious about that being the lead single, because they were very proud of filling this, thinking it was the best representation to onboard people onto the new Blink. They thought that song would be.
I don't even disagrry with that. I just
I don't, because it's got enough where, again, because it is sort of a generic pop song in that way, where like it's going to get traction on pop radio. It'll pick up, people will be into it. Whereas I think honestly, like if you would have busted out like. I don't know, Stockholm Syndrome, which is just, that doesn't really count. But yeah, if you were to bug out Stockholm Syndrome or the song with Robert Smith on it as your lead single, that would have really thrown people off on the initial. The feeling
this how people. Yeah, and I Miss You could have been the first one, because that would have been real weird. That'd have been real. Yeah, and on Nimrod was Time of Your Life the first single?
I don't think so.
I don't think so either. You can't lead an album with that, dude. You have to lead it with something with some like oomph. And feeling this, while I may not like the song anymore, and I repeat, I used to love that song, or I'd like to quite a bit. I don't think loving it is the right words. It was never going to be on my top songs of theirs, but um, yeah, dude, this album is strange, man. And I wrote down if the Fallen interlude was a song and not just an interlude, instrumental, track or whatever, it would be the worst on this album because it sounds like Limp Bizkit. Go listen to that and then go listen to Limp Bizkit's Significant Other and tell me you don't hear those
I think it
sounds.
sounds like me trying to do Dr. Dre. That, like, if I was on like a pad machine and trying to like do,
Like I said, Limp Bizkit.
yeah, okay, yeah, exactly. You put some guy with a beard and a cap, you send him to Interscope Records, and you tell him to make hip hop, and I'd be like, you know what, Dr. Dre's pretty awesome. Let me try to sound like that.
Yeah. And
let me say real quick though on this album, if you want some classic Blink though, there's probably only one song that totally fits into it, and it's my favorite song on this album, and it's song number 8, "Go." I love that song, and that is probably the only pure pop punk song on this, and also cool. If you read Mark's book, you'll actually get, he doesn't say like this is what inspired Go, but you read this one chapter and he talks about, and you're like, that is word for word everything which I always assumed, even though he says the word Mark, I always assumed it was about someone else. So it's a pretty interesting song on there. So actually I would say if you were like me until 2 years ago, when you just disliked this album, but you want to hear Blink that you can tolerate from this era, I would say Go is probably your best bet.
My second favorite song, I think, might actually be Asthenia, because it does remind me so much of Alkaline Trio. It's got those claps, and the bass line is so good. Here's what I'll say about this record that people probably won't even get to this point because they've already turned their video off by now.
Yeah.
But for all of my problems with this album, it's just like what I was talking about with the Decline. There are things about it that are great, and I think that the production on this album is actually, when you look at this one in comparison to like their most recent album, the production on this album is light years ahead of it. It is so much better. Like it sounds like a rock and roll album with people playing instruments. The new album sounds so robotic and too polished. So the production on this I really like. There are parts where Tom sings that I like, but Mark, I think, is the better singer of the two. But there's incredible bass on this album. Like the bass lines are really, really good. And you can't talk about, post Dude Ranch Blink without mentioning Travis's drumming. The way he plays on this album is something to behold, man. That guy is a fantastic drummer. And look, while this album isn't one that I love this band, and I'm always going to stand up for them in their early career, and even their latest albums. Later albums, excuse me. I find things to like about them. This is probably actually my least favorite album by them. New one. Nah, I think I like this one less than the newer album. But like all the stuff with Skiba, I'm a Skiba stan, and I know that, so I just have to embrace it. I like those albums. So I might bring one of those up here in the near. I think I'm gonna do Father of All. Holy shit! How did I not think of that? People hate that record, bro, and I love it. It's like legitimately like my favorite Green Day record. I don't think it's their best. I'm just saying I like it. When I think Green Day, I go, Insomniac. Man, I've heard that 10 million times. Ooh, I'll go listen to Father of All because I've only heard it probably like 10 times all the way through. So it's still fairly fresh to me, and it's just so good.
We need to do that in proximity with the Blink Skiba albums to just do the series of video for albums people hate, and see what we can, and talk about them and do.
Dude, what other albums are out there that are really popular people hate? I can't come up with anything either.
That's hard because like someone in the comments would be like Dookie, but that's an asinine thing. Like, no, people love that. Like, right. You got to find stuff that is kind of universally panned.
Man, if you think people hate Dookie, go read the comments on my latest video. I only didn't like one song on the album, and I got torched. I'm gonna probably eat a big pile of shit for this one too, but I don't really care because I stand firm on the fact that this is when they turn into an emo band, and I don't like emo.
I don't think having a strong opinion one way or another on this album is a hot take. Like it's such it's such a departure, and the band changed so much from it. Like, of course you have to have some kind of opinion.
I think the hottest take in this entire talk we've had today was me liking the Wolves and Wolves Clothing artwork. That's probably the only hot take I've had today.
Yeah. You're like the most critical person of artwork ever. And
oh, dude, I love this music so much, man. I love doing these videos with you. I love talking about it. I love going and doing the research. Even when I listen to an album like this that I don't really care for, the only thing I think is hilarious is that I genuinely was going to go for 3 albums outside my comfort zone. and I had them picked out. I was gonna do this album, I was gonna do Fugazi, and the other record was oh my goodness, dude. I just drew a blank. I can't remember. What are some bands I hate? Oh my goodness. Oh, Propaganda. I was gonna do a Propaganda album. And the Fugazi one threw me for such a hard curveball that I was like, I'm out. I'm not doing it. I'll do one.
You were bummed out about that, weren't you?
I'll do what?
You're bummed out about that, right? That
I couldn't do the Fugazi one?
Yeah.
I was super bummed that I couldn't finish this. I just was like, wow, I can't believe I actually disliked this much. I really sincerely thought this is how it's going to go. I'm going to hit play, and within 2 or 3 songs, I'm going to have to shake my head and do a Clash. Oh, well, I love this band now. And I couldn't. I don't think I made it through 2 whole songs. Dude, I think I was done before the second song was over.
I am mad at you though, because of you, I was listening to the Clash last week, just because, like, I'm like, oh, the same thing's happening. Damn it!
Isn't that weird how that happens? I assume at some point I'm gonna love the Bad Brains. I assume at some point I'll love Fugazi. I assume at some point I'll probably love Propaganda. But right now I still don't, and I don't have to. They're not essential to me being punk. They're not essential to me being an adult. They're not essential to me being right or wrong. They're just bands, okay? Like, it, did they change music? I don't know. Maybe, probably not, honestly. Fugazi might have, but I don't think Propaganda changed anything. I don't think that Bad Brains changed some shit, I guess. I forgot I said Bad Brains. Let me rewind that, folks. I'm not dumb. I know Bad Brains were very, 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 very influential. I've tried to listen to that band. I just can't do the vocals, man. I like a lot of the music, but I might do a Bad Brains album next time, because I think I can make it through a Bad Brains album and get something out of it. But I mean, I did that on the channel. I did a live stream, and I liked a fair bit of it. I need to go back and listen to it again. I think sometimes people think me saying I don't like something, they equate that to me saying that I think it sucks. And I'm like, no, I just said I didn't like it. Like, liking something is an activity. I have to actively like something. I just said I don't do that. Like, I didn't say. And I know in the past I have said, I hate this. I've tried to stop doing that. I've tried to say, I just don't like it. This is not my thing. And people have still just taken that and make it mean that I think it is horrible. And I'm like, no. I would let you know if I thought it was horrible. I'm not afraid of saying that. But what kind of albums you thinking for next week, dude?
I don't know.
I think I'm going to do, I had a couple written down, and I'm not sure this is where it's going to land. Oh, I'm going to do Husker Du.
Okay.
Oh my goodness. I don't know if I want to do that. Oh, I'll do it. It's okay. I need to listen to more Husker Du. I told Nitty at some point in my life I would do it. I owe him that. So me and Nitty are also going to do a series of videos like this. We did 2 records apiece because we kind of decided on it kind of late. And I'm doing one Epitaph, one Fat Records record on mine. Oh, dude, you're gonna love
Good.
this.
You need your fat education. It's about time.
Right. I thought I was trying. I'm telling you, man, I've been making a concerted effort to like get out of my comfort zone and just admit when I like records that I used to dislike that are just good. I'm trying to just be like, look, because I think that people don't understand me really. And if I don't like something, I typically don't listen to it much. So there's no reason to believe that I don't like an album, but I've also listened to it 30 times. That is not how my brain works. If I don't like it the first time, I almost never go back to it. So like, there's a giant chance that if I didn't like something in 2004, that if I listen to it tomorrow, I say there's at least 50-50 chance that I go, never heard it like this before. I like this now. Like, I don't get bothered by that. I don't understand how people get upset by these things. It's just an opinion.
Well, I think the mark of a strong adult is that you never change your opinions or taste for 21 years.
It's so weird how people, I think I've grown as a music fan over the past couple of years, dude. I listen to so much post-punk and goth and emo music now that I never would have ever even considered listening to 2 years ago. I mean, dude, because that band Homefront, I actively like The Cure now. What the fuck, dude? I've hated The Cure my whole life. Now, I still don't like their more like later albums and their bigger stuff. I like more of their early material, but I'm listening to Bauhaus, Depeche Mode. I hated that music for my whole life.
You know what? You are becoming like a member of Blink-182 now. You're listening to all their favorite bands.
Fuck, man. Dude, yesterday I woke up, my shit was all swooped in my eye. I had to shave my head. I was like, what the hell's going on here? Dude, I kept talking like this. Your eyes inside my head. Like, what are we doing, man?
I don't know why Tom DeLonge has a British accent now.
Yeah, I don't know, dude. I don't know either. I'm sorry,
It's like
Tom.
anarchy in San Diego. I don't know.
Bro, I think people take me too serious
Yeah.
because even when I'm talking shit, I'm almost always turning it up to 12. Like I just in reality, do I actually think about anarchy in the UK ever? Sure don't. Don't care about it. If it came on the radio, would I be like, ooh, turn this off? Nope. But if I'm doing a podcast on it, I'd like to at least be entertaining. Come on, man. Longview still sucks though. I love our audience, even though they get mad at me.
They don't like you.
They don't like me sometimes, but they always come back because they know I'm just fucking around. Dude, here's the thing. Here's the thing about the channel that I think is really cool is that we do silly stuff, and I'm very I'm like rough around the edges, dude. I'm kind of curmudgeony sometimes, but I'm overall I'm very nice. I'm generally like pretty open minded. I'll try music. I'll change my mind on things. I'll eat crow. I'll apologize. This is the stuff that a lot of people that create content will not do. Most of these bigger content creators will not change their mind. They will not apologize. They don't ever adapt to things. They're just like who they are. It's a character, right? I'm not really a character. I'm just me. I'm just doing me. I'm not perfect. I'm kind of annoying sometimes. I talk too much. I get it. But I'm chilling, bro. I'm having a good time, and I introduce people to music, and I hang out, and I talk to people in the comments, and people once they get to know me a little bit, they typically go, oh, "Okay, I get it. You're just kind of a dork." Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, that's it. I'm not cool. Never said I was. Um, you know, we're rocking and rolling right now, though, dude. Like the channel is doing fucking fantastic. We've had the best 2 weeks that I've had in probably maybe the lifetime of this channel. Like a week ago, I had 200 less subscribers.
Oh wow.
That's giant growth in a week.
1 week growth. Yeah. Is that video you put out though? That did that spike it? That long video?
So it's doing pretty well, but no, dude, I did a video on Record Store Day being a scam, and it did like 4,000 views. I almost didn't even do that video. Like I was this close to just being like, yeah, I don't want to talk about this. But the guy that I was talking about in the video is getting bent over, man. And I just think we need to stand together as like record store owners. This has nothing to do with like punk more than part of the video did, but like that part of it was strictly about like this is a scam. They're trying to get your money and they don't care about anything else, which I understand that's what business is, but like not my business. My business is there for the punk rock community and the record collecting community. So like I want to get records in for as best the prices I can get them so I can offer the best prices. And I started lowering my prices this weekend because I got a hold of Mark from TKO and he sold me a big box of records. And he said, hey, if you'll sell them for this much, I'll sell them to you for this much. And I promised him I would do it, and I'm doing it, and it feels awesome because I'm looking at these prices and I'm going, holy crap, dude, this is like $6 less than they were a week ago. And in the video, I changed the price tag from $32 to $25. Look, dude, I may take a couple dollar loss on that record, but that felt good, man. I want people to come in and buy records at a good price. I want them to come back. I want them to have a good time and enjoy my record shop. It's a small place. So if I can make ends meet while doing this, I'm going to. And that guy's getting screwed, man. He had an issue with something, and instead of the people that run Record Store Day like fixing it like they should have, they basically said, well, you sell mostly used records. You shouldn't be participating anyways, and took him off the list. Bro, I'm never, ever, ever in my life going to support that shit again. It's not happening.
Most record stores mostly sell used records, right?
Dude, okay, so I sell probably 50-50. But every record store I've ever been in has been at least 50-50.
Yeah, like it's part of the whole record store deal is that it's kind of it's a co-op.
You would think that they knew that
going on. Yeah. And I don't necessarily think of those as like secondhand stores, they're just
right. It's a record store.
How record stores are because they're this thing that can last a really long time. And
well, I think that there's like 10% of the stores that are out there, like Amoeba in LA or California, or whatever. Great record store, by the way. I don't have no problems with Amoeba, right?
Yeah.
But they are a little high priced and they do sell mostly new records there. Right? They've got a used section, but it is not what their new section is, right? But there are more places like mine than there are like Amoeba that are just one or two people that own it. They work there and that's their passion. So, but that's what's been helping the channel. And then I did, the Sex Pistols video, while it got me flamed a little bit in the comments, it did over 1,000 views. The Green Day one did like 700-800. So like, and then I also have been like big time doing short videos. I've been doing like 1 or 2 a day. and that's been helping a lot because they're getting like 1,500 plus views on every one of them. So, and I started doing a like record collection series and a this band sounds like this band series. So it's getting I'm feeding two groups of people that are enjoying it. So we'll see, man. You know what my goals are, dude. I'm trying to hit 25, 50K and really make a dent in this, like, you know, I don't want to call it influencer because that's not what I'm trying to do. Like content creator space. I want to do more vlogs, and the vlog video has done. Let's see, where are we at on like actual views on that thing? It's on. Let me look at my. Because I was hoping it would be like, you know, big time, but it might be a creeper. You know what I'm saying? But it's at. Yeah, it's at about 800 views. It's starting to plateau a little bit, but it's got, you know, quite a bit of watch time. But all the feedback that I've gotten on it has been really positive. Like I've gotten a few actual like DMs about that video, like, "Hey man, this is really good." So I don't know if you've had time to watch any of it or not, but I'm really proud of it. I worked hard on it. So, you know, I think that might be. I thought I was going to go into like video essay territory. I think vlogging, like travel vlog within punk music, is actually the direction I'm going. I do think I can get 6 or 7, 8 of those in a year, whereas 8 video essays, dude. The Women in Punk video took me 3 months to make. It is the most bummer outcome. Like I thought for sure that video would be at 10K views right now, and it is at, let's see, 10% of that. It's at about 1,000 views. And man, it bums me out, dude. It has only got, it plateaued hard at like 650 views in the first couple of days, and then it just went and died. And I'm like, man, the feedback on that one was really good too, but like I worked so hard on that. I don't think I'm gonna make the second and third part. I can't invest that time for 700 views, dude. I just can't do it. So unless I get some kind of random just and it takes off. But that honestly bums me out because I think it's because of the topic. I don't think the work is the problem. I think it's the topic. And it saddens me because at the very beginning of the video, I say that this is an important topic. We need to talk about this. So I don't know. I might still make the other two because I said I would, and I don't want to be a liar, but like, man, it is hard to make myself work for when I know for a fact it's not going to do shit for me. Like I do wonder if a Riot Girl one, which was going to be my part 2, might get a little more buzz, but
or at least in the right algorithm, because maybe it's just that the algorithm that's feeding your audience isn't necessarily interested in that video.
Right. Yeah, I don't know, man. It's strange, dude. But are you going to do anything on Punk Odds anytime soon?
I've got some things. I was actually going to text you about some stuff a little bit later. I've got some sort of plans coming up.
Dude, let me know if I can help, man.
Yeah, I want to get something going. That's all I'll say about that on the part that people can hear. But
at this point, I literally have done what I told you I was going to do 2.5 years ago. I have quit working and I'm doing this. So I have some time to help you at this point where I wouldn't have, before you took your break from the show. I was working too much. I had this full time. I had my shop on the weekends. I had my almost full-time job at Alamo. So I was working like 80, 90 hours a week. I was exhausted all the time. But now I have kind of streamlined my life a little bit more, and that's still kind of hectic, but I would love to just help in a way if I can. So if there's something I can do, or if you need me to help you with research of some kind, or if you need me to pop up with an idea of something, like, bro, hit me up, dude. Like I basically have you to thank for my channel, and I'm not going to forget that. So, let me know, man. I'm excited to see what you come up with, because we do different content. I do know that we do different content.
These particular episodes though is what's getting me, because they're kind of in the vein of like some silly content I would do on my channel every now and then, and so it's
what the stuff me and you are doing.
Yeah, these last few episodes of kind of
I mean, I try to keep it fun for both of us. The last thing I want to do is sit around and make stuff that we're like. I think for a while I had to like force myself to make videos that I wasn't having fun making. And even the short videos that I don't really like making, to be honest, I'm actually still having fun because it's a subject that I like. I like talking about my record collection, and I like telling people about bands that I think they might not know much about. And so that I enjoy. So I'll make that my short content. I probably won't veer too much off of that. But dude, I had fun editing for the first time in like a year when I did that vlog video. I smiled, dude. I almost got emotional when I got to the very end and I was putting up photos of like me and Nitty and my friend Kevin.
Mm.
And I was like, oh my God, I did it. I did a fucking real travel vlog video. I was like, man. And then I showed it to my kids and then I showed it to Carissa and I was like, what do y'all think about this? And my daughter goes, man, that could be on like MTV. And I'm telling you, I'm like getting emotional talking about it now because I was like, man, I worked so hard to make it to Gilman, to see my friend in person, to film a lot of stuff, even when I didn't really feel like doing it. I still turned it on, put the thing on my chest and started filming, and it paid off. And I'm just like, man, even if that video tops out at 1,000 views, it got 1,000 views. The next one will get 2,000. I know it will because I'm going to LA in like a week and a half, and I'm going to vlog that too. And it'll be different because it's a different show with different people, and I'm going to be around different people. But I'm already learning.
You're kind of taking the viewer all around punk rock around the country, basically.
Yep. I'm going to go to your town soon. I'm going to go to Boston next year. I'm going to do some stuff, man. It's coming, bro. I'm going to save my money, and I'm going to do that. Anybody that donates to the channel, it will go into content. I promise. Like, you know, my wife, the reason she doesn't go on these trips with me, it's got little to do with anything other than she goes, yeah, you're going to work the whole time. It's a job for you. And I'm like, yeah, it is. I love it. I love doing it. I don't like the flying part, but everything else is awesome. So, yeah, man, I'll shut up now and get you out of here, bud. It's been good talking.
Yeah, that's fun.
How's your family? Everybody okay?
Yeah.
Holidays, you ready for the holidays?
I guess. I mean, they're gonna come.
It's hectic, it's expensive, it's stressful.
I like the winter once the holidays are over. I realize that's kind of like that. That January, February, it's starting to like, you know, the end is in sight. Like all of that's kind of fun. I'm looking forward.
My birthday's in March, so like January, February are always nice for me because I'm like, oh man, I got something to celebrate coming up, and you know, and also my birthday and Parker's are like kind of close, but everybody else in my family's in the fall, so like it's kind of my time. My birthday through Father's Day is like when I get any kind of attention is that part of the year.
Yeah, it's your window.
Yeah, it's my window to be like guilt tripping my family into like watching a shitty movie with me or something. All right, brother, man. Thank you for hanging out with me, Rob. I appreciate your time, bud. Everybody that's still watching, I know it's only a few of you. Thank you very much. Yeah, man. For ad-free viewing of these videos, please see Patreon. Good grief. Patreon's been rocking and rolling too, man. We're doing well. So thank you, everybody, for your support. It is needed and appreciated. I forgot I had to do a live stream tonight. Shit, I got to go. All right, Rob. Later, buddy.
Bye.
I'm about to log off, dude, and log right back into the live stream. Oh, my goodness.
Have fun.
Yep. Later, man.
Later.